In the previous class, good morning everyone. In the previous class, we saw about HTML and uh, syntax of XML. So today we shall see RDF language, how it will be RDF language and RDF schema. RDF language, the XML tags can often add meaning to data. However, actually understanding the tags is meaningful only to humans. For example, given the following segment of XML markup tag, that's book title followed by Godel Esther Back, an eternal golden bride. Okay, end of title, end of book. A book might infer that the book has the title Godel Esther Back, an eternal golden bride. This simple grammatical sentence is understood to contain three basic parts: a subject, that is book, a predicate, title, and an object. Object is nothing but author names. A machine, however, could not make the inference based upon the XML alone. We could, however, separate an extensible style sheet language transfer, which we call it as XSLT style sheet, to transform the XML markup to display the following string. The book has the title Godel Esther Back, an eternal golden braid. Regardless, the computer would not take action based upon this string. Example checking to see related titles, prices, availability, etc. Without additional explicit programming for machines to do more automatically, it is necessary to go beyond the notion of HTML display model or XML data model toward a uh, toward a meaning model. This is where RDF and metadata can provide machine processing capabilities built upon XML technology. So, what is metadata? It is information about other data building upon XML. The W3C developed the RDF metadata standard. The goal was to add semantic defined on top of XML. While RDF is actually built upon a very simple model, and it can support very large scale information processing, an RDF document can uh, uh, give precise relationship between vocabulary items by constructing a grammatical representation. Assertions in different RDF documents can be combined to provide far more information together than they could separately. As a result, RDF provides a powerful flexibility query structure. So we should know about RDF triple. RDF triple model is based on statements made about resources that can be anything with an associated universal resource identifier. The basic RDF model produces a triple where a resource, that is subject, is linked through an arc labeled with a property, nothing but the predicate, to a value. So that is the object. The RDF statement can be represented as a resource which has a property with a specific value, which can be reduced to a triple: subject, predicate, object. And subject, predicate, and object can be defined in terms of resources, properties, and values. As subject, the resource, a person, place, or thing that the statement describes. The RDF source can be anything in the data model, document, or a user or product, and is uniquely identified by URI. A URI can be a URL as well. Predicate, the property that is name, city, title, color, shape, characteristics of the subject. Subject is nothing but person, place, or thing. So predicate is the property and should be uniquely identified by URI. Object is the value. For example, Douglas Hofstadter, Sanjos, Godel blue circle storm can be specified for the property name, city, color, shape, characteristics, which describes the subject, person, place, or value, thing. This value can be any valid RDF data type. RDF supports all XML data types. The simple model of the triple with URIs used by RDF to describe information has many advantages. One of the most important is that any data model can be reduced to a common storage format based on triple. This makes RDF ideal for aggregating disparate data models because all the data from all models can be treated the same. This means that information can be combined from many sources and processed as if it came from a single source. The RDF relationships can be between two resources or between a resource and a literal. These relationships form arcs. The RDF arc can be graphically represented where the subject is shown in as an oval, the predicate as a connecting arc or line, and the object as an oval. Graphs are easy to read, and the directed arc removes any possibility of confusion over what the subject and the object. Okay, let us see a very simple statement and identify the components that comprise an RDF model. Okay, consider this statement as an RDF statement. That is, the book has the title, uh, Godel is your back, uh, in a eternal golden braid. The book subject, okay, has the title predicate, golden is your back, an eternal golden braid object. This can be represented as the triple. Okay, the book has the title Golden Hatchet Back and Eternal Golden Thread. Um, okay, figure here shows the corresponding graph for the given example triple. It is directed graph with labeled nodes and labeled arc. The arc is directed from the source, that is the subject, to the object, to the value. And this kind of graph is recognized in AI community as semantic net. We can think of the triple X capital P Y as a logical formula. P of xy, where the binary predicate P relates the object X to the object Y. Applying this to our triple, the book has the title, produces a logical formula, has the title. Okay, the book Golden Esther, where the binary predicate P has the title, relates the object X, that is book, to the object Y. Think of a collection of interrelated RDF statements represented as a graph of interconnected nodes. The nodes are connected via various relationships. For example, let us say each node represents a person. Each person might be related to another person because they are siblings, parents, friends, or employees. Each interconnection is labeled with a relationship name. Another example of a relationship in the physical is the physical properties of a node, such as the name or job of a person. uh, friend of a friend application is there. Okay. The RDF is used in this manner to describe these relationships. It does not actually include the nodes directly, but it does indirectly. Since the relationship point to the nodes, at any time we could introduce a new node, such as a newborn child. And all that is needed is for us to add the appropriate relationship for the two parents. So let's see some of the basic elements. Most of the elements of RDF concerns classes, properties, instances of classes. This section presents the language components essential to introducing these elements. Syntax. Both RDF and RDF schema uses XML-based syntax. The RDF system provides a means of describing the relationships among the resources in terms of named properties and values. Since RDF and XML were developed about the same time, RDF was defined as an excellent complement to XML. Encoding RDF triples in XML makes an object portable across platforms and interoperable among applications. Because RDF data can be expressed using XML syntax, it can be passed over the web as a document and parsed using existing XML-based software. This combination of RDF and XML enables individuals or programs to locate, retrieve, process, store, or manage the information objects that comprise a semantic website. Header. As a RDF for document looks very similar, much like all XML, documents in terms of elements, tags, and namespaces. An RDF document starts with a header, including the root element as an RDF colon, capital RDF. Elements that also specify a number of namespaces. It then defines properties and classes. Namespaces. The namespace mechanism of XML is also used in RDF. However, in XML namespace are only used to remove ambiguities. In RDF, external namespaces are expected to be RDF documents, defining resources which are used to import RDF documents. This allows reuse of resources and enables others to add additional features for the resources, producing a large distributed collection of knowledge. To add a namespace to an RDF document, a namespace attribute can be added anywhere in the document, but is usually added to the RDF tag itself. The namespace declaration for RDF vocabularies usually point to a URI of the RDF schema document for the vocabulary. We can add a namespace as, okay, you can see here, it can be added like this. Okay, RDF colon RDF. Um, okay, so this is the syntax. Okay, for W3 website. The namespace declaration for RDF vocabularies point to the URI of the RDF schema document for the vocabulary. Note the prefix for RDF syntax is given by as small RDF. The RDF schema is given as RDF-S. Okay, and Dublin core schema is given as DC. Description. The RDF about attribute of the element RDF description is equivalent to that of an idea attribute, but is often used to suggest the object may be defined elsewhere. A set of RDF statements form a large graph relating things to other things through their properties. The contents of RDF description elements are called property elements. Description may be defined within other descriptions, producing nested descriptions. Further, definition of ID is found through the RDF resource attribute and RDF type element introduces structure to the RDF document. While RDF is required to be well formed, it does not require XML style validation. The RDF parsers do not use document type definitions or XML schema to ensure that RDF is valid. Next is data types. Sometimes it is useful to be able to identify what kind of thing a resource is. Much like how object-oriented system causes a user's classes, the RDF system uses a type for this purpose. While there are two very general types, a resource and a literal, every resource may be given a precise type. For example, the resource John might be given a type of person. The value of the type should be another resource. That would mean that more information could be associated with the type itself. As with other properties, types can be specified with a triple. Okay, you can see here. The resource HTTP on this XML innes.com is used to represent the person. Okay, so this can be used to represent the person. Next, vocabularies. What kind of vocabularies can be used to model business resources using the syntax of RDF should be known. Like the kind of business resource, because RDF creates domain specific vocabularies that are then used to model resources. We can use RDF to model business specific resources. The only limitation is the need for industry cooperation in developing an interoperable vocabulary. We can consider RDF as a way of recording information about resources. The RDF can be serialized using XML for specific business domain using a set of elements defined within the rule of the RDF data model and constrained through RDF syntax, vocabulary, and schema. The RDF recorded in XML is a powerful tool. By using XML, we have access to a great number of existing XML applications such as parsers and APIs. However, RDF provides the same level of functionality to XML as a relational data model, adds to commercial databases, and RDF provides predefined data grammar that can be used for business information. The way to start defining the vocabulary for a business is to first create domain elements and their properties within the given business scope. Defining the business elements for a new system is the same process as being defined for use within a more traditional relational database. Following the existing data modeling techniques, first describe the major entities and their properties, then describe how these entities are related to one another. Once the elements for the vocabulary are defined, they can be compared to existing web resource domain vocabulary for matches. So this is the table which illustrates the part of an RDF document, that is header, XML syntax, root element, namespace, the RDF triple, and the end element. Its serialization as an XML document, that is XML version 1.0. header, okay, root element tag, XML namespaces for RDF and DC, okay, and inserting the triplet. Here you can see subject, predicate, object within the and the end of the root element, that is slash RDF. Okay, beginning and end. See the beginning and end are important. Um, in the exam, they have asked this like sample RDF document. Okay, question is, see in this syllabus, it's very like difficult to ask questions because content is very less on it. So you can expect the question on each and every topic. Will be very complicated to study, but you can like easily manage these things. Okay, here syntax will be asked for these things: HTML syntax, RDF syntax, XML syntax, document types, all these things. Okay. Next class and properties we shall see in the next class. Thank you.